A tale of a man, a mere mortal whose only power is his will and his mind. A man who took the call when called upon to step forward and become the hero of his own story. We follow our hero whose normal day became a sudden tragedy if not dealt with correctly. Without his great actions, a heartache would have been felt across the nation. We follow our hero Tyson as he is awakened by the sound of music within his home. He gets up at his normal day, but little does he know it was the farthest from normal. He follows the music to find himself in the kitchen of his home, with his mother preparing breakfast for his family of 9. With such a large family and being the eldest born male, expectations were high, and the stress Tyson carries on his shoulders were higher. And with this, Tyson works at a local pier where he sells bait and tackle to fishermen in the area. As he sat down to eat with his family in the room, tensions were high, and the feeling of uncertainty was felt throughout. You see, times like these were rough for the family, and many members had to work overtime to compensate for their troubles. After breakfast, Tyson got ready for work, and he walked and started to pour down rain. And with his dad in complex, he started journey to work. With heavy rain, Tyson knew not many fishermen would be out, which meant not as much business, causing Tyson to worry about not bringing enough home for his family. He set off on his path behind his home, over the fence, through the wooded path, and quiet street until he arrived at his destination. As he walks along the path, leaving behind a set of footprints in the mud, he climbs a fence, and he finally arrives in the deeply wooded area of his journey. He's finally halfway. As the rain started to come down harder, the sky started to darken with dark rain clouds and thunder started to roll across town. Tyson picked up his pace before he gained lost within what almost felt like a forest. And he started to run across the path, racing down to beat the storm. As he reaches the street, he spots a man. A man in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt is standing in the pouring rain, holding a sign reading, "Anything helps." Tyson can't help to feel bad, because as all people should be treated the same and no one deserves to be treated any different based on what they have. He walks past him. Tyson hands him an umbrella. The man was very appreciative, saying that he has been in the freezing rain for hours. A simple act and kind gesture, as Tyson believed everyone is equal and no one should be treated different based on what they have. Tyson continued his journey to work, sprinting down the empty road, trying to get out of the rain. As the rain started to fall harder, each step Tyson gets slower. Tyson's minds wander about, thinking how would he be able to help his family in conditions like these. He finally arrives to work in a saddened state. Worried about his family, he starts to set things down and get ready for his shift. The day moves slow, and Tyson boredom rises before he sees his friend, Tom, and Tom's brother. They come in to the counter asking for some bait. Tyson gladly grants their request and offers them a discount on some fishing rods since they are all close friends. They decline the offer and pull out a brand new rod, saying it was their father's. They wanted to see how the fishing rod felt. Tyson kindly rings them up for the bait, and the two brothers head out on the pier with the bait and the new rod in hand. As the boys leave, Tyson starts to clean the little shop, offering help to all customers and trying to sell items within the store so he can help provide for his family. As the day goes by, customers come in and out, and Tyson offers help with a smile ear to ear, but unfortunately, he's unable to sell anything. Then a man walks through the door, someone out of town as Tyson never seen him before. He says that he is new around the area and wanted to fish, but he didn't have the equipment with him, and he asked for help. Without any hesitation, Tyson offers his own equipment for the man to use. Excitedly, the man thanked him and swore to return his items. He offered to pay him for allowing him to use his gear. Tyson politely declines his offer and tells the man that if he was in the same position, he would want someone to do what he did for him. As the man was leaving, Tyson hears a shriek come from the pier. He runs outside to figure out what has happened. He sees his friends start to yell and he rushes towards them. Tom tries to explain what just happened. They have just dropped their father's new rod into the water and too afraid to return home without it. As he's explaining to him, in the corner of his eye, Tyson sees Tom's brother jump into the water and try to find the rod. Tyson knew Tom's brother couldn't swim, and he jumped in because he knew his father would be upset if they returned without it, and he was too scared to see what his action would be. In an instant, Tyson dives down in the water towards John, and Tom's brother flailing in the water. Tyson swims towards John and grabs a hold of him and swims towards shore. He drags John to the shore, and they both collapse out of exhaustion. Lying there, Tyson asks, "John, are you okay?" looking over to see the fishing pole clasped in his hands. He gets up and helps John, and they both walk back to the pier. Tom races down to meet them on the pier, and they all let out a laugh. Tom and John stay in touch profusely, and Tyson humbly tells them it was the right thing to do. As the brothers leave, Tyson walks back to the shop to tell down the adventure he just had. The man Tyson let borrow his gear comes back into the shop to return his gear. He thanks him for charging him with his own equipment and puts some money into the tip jar. Tyson glances over and is astonished by the amount he put in there. There's almost a month's worth of work at the bait and tackle shop. Tyson thanks the man copiously, and the man responds and tells him that that's what he wants someone to do for him. With a smile as big as the sun and heart full of joy, Tyson rushes back home to his family to show the tip he just received. And with all joy, they all shout as they celebrate. A knock on the door interrupts. Tyson goes and asks to see Tom and his brother and their father. Their father explains to them that he just heard the story and he came to thank Tyson personally. Tyson promised him that it wasn't a big deal, and it's humbly accepts their thanks, but of course in his mind, he does think it's a big deal. Not every day would you see something like that or be in a situation like that. And not everyone would jump into the water to save a life. As he finishes the conversation, the father hands Tyson a bag, saying he heard about his family's troubles and offers his help. The brothers and father walk off into the stormy night, and Tyson brings it back home and is astonished by what he sees inside. He sees a stack of money, enough to help him and his family out through these hard times, and he drops to the floor. Full of emotion, he felt accomplished. He was able to help his family and allow them to live a better life. And to this day, thinking upon his actions, he still says that that's something he wanted someone to do for him, and that he would do it all over again in a heartbeat. A quote from Sappho says, "What is beautiful is good, and what is good will soon be beautiful. It never will hurt you to be good, and in a deed may change your life and somehow their fate. Help others when you believe is right, without the need of a spotlight. You are truly one of a kind, and by helping someone in need, maybe you will see what you always wanted to find." Thank you, guys.